Welcome back to More Sip the Tally. I'm your host, Coach Evans. Do you know this guy on the screen? And if you do, did you know him before the NFL Combine? He's a running back for Virginia Tech. If you didn't know him before the Combine, I'm here to introduce you to him. Welcome back to More Sip the Tally. Let's take a look at Bhayshul Tuten and why we're taking a look at him today on the channel. Roll that intro. All right, welcome back to the channel. And you're probably wondering, why are we even looking at this dude? Who is he? Like, where did he come from? And so I'm going to show you why I wanted to do this video on Bhayshul Tuten. He really posted a number that is really amazing and came out of nowhere. And when he did it, my eyes got big, like, who is this guy? And if you don't know, I'm going to show you the number. I'm currently sitting in front of that number right now. So give me 1 second to show you. There it is. That number right there is the reason why we're doing this film. 4.32, one of the fastest guys at the NFL Combine in 2025. When I saw him do that, I'm like, well, who is this guy? Where did he come from? Let's kind of get into the rest of Bhayshul's Combine. Over 40 vertical. We know not many guys go over that 40 mark. He did that to go along with a 4.32 speed. And he had a 10-10 broad jump. Those numbers show me an explosive player. And so a guy with this type of explosion, why haven't I heard of him? Started off at North Carolina A&T, did 2 years there. Wound up at Virginia Tech. Let's take a look at the stats before I show you his combine matches his tape. All right, so let's look at the last 2 years. 2023 and 2024. 2022 and 2021, he was at North Carolina A&T, a really good HBCU out of North Carolina. They win a lot of games. He was very productive. And what struck my attention is, look at the production his last year at A&T, 1,370 yards. So he goes from FCS to FBS, and some people, they say he can't do it. But his first year at an FBS, 875 yards, and then last year, 1,150 yards. So he had production on all levels. And if you can play, they will find you. I say that all the time. So if you start at HBCU or D2 or D3, if you can play, they will find you. And the thing is, with the way the transfer portal is now, if you can play, the bigger school coaches will find you. Then the NFL will find you. So just get into school, young people. If any young people watching, just get into school and bust your butt, and it'll come. It'll come. But back to Tuten. Played 11 games this year, 183 attempts, 1,150 yards, 6.3 yards per carry, 15 touchdowns. 15. And so when you look over here on his attempts, I'm going to tell you now, he is a zone runner. If your NFL team runs outside zone, this might be a guy you pick up in a later round. He's a zone runner with burst, with vision, which I'm going to show you. And then the combine tells you he has the home run speed to finish the runs. But we're going to look at all that in just a second. But you can see his zone attempts way outweigh his gap run attempts. He only had 42 gap attempts, and gap is power counter, runs like that. And zones is inside zone, outside zone. But most of his stuff is outside zone. Yards after contact, 806 yards, which put him 30th in the NCAA. Missed tackles forced, 62, which put him at 23rd. And explosive runs, he had 21 of those. He was tied for 15th in the NCAA this year. So we're not going to really worry about his routes or whatnot. We're looking at his zone running. So his rushing grade for 2024 was 80. Zone grade was 83. Gap grade was 64. But like I said, he's a zone runner. So let's get into the tape and see, so I can show you what I saw for Tuten and show you why the combine numbers match his tape. All right, now let's get into this Bhayshul Tuten film. He's number 33, the back next to Kyron Groves. I think that's the quarterback name for Virginia Tech. Let's dive right into it. Again, like I told you, he's an outside zone runner, and we're about to see all of that on these, because I think all of these are some version of outside zone. Right there, you get it, and you see the good blocking by the O-line up front. Now you got to be decisive. Got to be decisive. And the way he works in and out of those little pockets that the O-line create, I love. Untouched. Just weaving through it. Now, at this point, maybe he could have stuck his foot in the ground and went right, but not going to criticize too much because you're going to see clips of him doing just what I assumed he would have done on that run on later runs. Like I said, all of these clips are some version of outside zone, whether it be jet sweep or just straight outside zone from the hip or what. Another outside zone. Extremely patient. Extremely patient. See that? He could hit that big hole, but he not. He sees 68 coming off, and he knows the leverage of 68's blocks. Going to push that guy to the left, sticks his foot in the ground, and cuts right behind it. Bam. Then ran through a tackle. But what I don't like, watch Donovan Ezaruku, I think that's how you say it. Watch him punch this thing out. Bam. Got to protect it. Can't be dropping the church's money. That's one thing about it. Don't drop the church's money. And the thing about this is this strip came from the opposite hand. The ball is in Tuten's left hand. As Ruku's on his right side. I'm going to say Donovan, because I don't know if I'm pronouncing his last name right. But you can't drop the church's money. And again, every clip I put out there, it ain't going to be all positive because nobody's perfect. So we're going to throw some negative in there a little bit. But that was a good run before it got to the fumble. Next clip. This is versus Rutgers. That's him coming in motion, running the jet sweep. And again, it still is a version or variation of outside zone. Patient. Just scanning. And once he see it, just burst through it. Just burst. And at that point, nobody can catch him. Because once he gets to the open field, don't forget, he got 4.3 speed. And at that point in the season, he probably wasn't 4.3. He probably was 4.4, probably had a little extra weight on. I'm sure he got down a little bit to be able to run at the combine and get to that 4.3. But still, that's excellent speed for a running back. Excellent. And that's why he was one of my combine winners, because we're taking a look at him when at first we wouldn't have thought about him at all. When you look at this play right here, still another version of outside zone, split outside zone. And you see 65 going to come back on 33, the linebacker. And the defensive end that's highlighted, he has to slow play it because Virginia Tech's quarterback is a runner. So you can't just go down there and crash like you're going to take the running back. And then the quarterback has a arc guy and he has the ball. So he got to kind of slow play it, which prevents him from getting in on the tackle. You're going to see him hit it right there. See, because he had to slow play it. That little hesitation gave him just enough. And look at that alley. That little hesitation right here from the defensive end, because you got to respect Drone's ability to run the ball. That gave him the seam right there to hit. Get up in there. Now watch this. Yeah. Making guys miss. Missed tackles forced. Missed tackles forced. They're in there. Heck of a run. Steelers versus BC right here. And I think the two games I got clips from are Rutgers and BC. I think this BC game, he had over 200 yards rushing. Look at it. Just the ability to get outside. The home run ability. And it ain't much to talk about on this play. He sees, 96 right there in that gap, so I'm going to bounce it to the outside. Just the home run ability. At any given time, he can take it to the crib. He need a crease and a little space. A crease and a little space. And this is a jet sweep again. I think this time it's going to the right. He's patient with these jet sweeps too. Real patient. He'll slow play him. He'll be slow too, then explode through. Slow play it, looking. Look how he slowed down, waiting on it. Slow down, waiting on it to develop. Bam, now. Burst. No chance. Stop crying for holding. No chance. Again, if you put him now we'll say this. If you put him here, I still think he can do the same thing. Even though a lot of these come from the hip or come from out here, I still think if you put him behind the quarterback, you still get the same thing. And then you get an even more dangerous guy, because now if he comes this way and they overplay it, you got the cutback and you're looking at a home run. Same way if you put him here and do the same thing. If they overplay it, home run. Or if they get it blocked right and he can get outside, he still can be a home run because of that speed. So just because you see him from the hip, that don't mean he can't do it from behind the center. Because right now his shoulder's still square. Now this is blocked magnificently. Had to make sure I slow that one down. Contact balance. Look at this contact balance. There's a lot of traffic going on. Still on his feet, spinning. Still ain't going to get more yards. That's a heck of a play. Heck of a play. Watch his contact balance again. Bam, bam. Bounce off 2. Bounce off to 3rd. Spin to regain my balance. Break another tackle. Then finally get tackled at the end right there. He broke 4 tackles right there. Oh, 5. But there it is again. There it is again. He broke 5 tackles on this with great contact balance. But whatever number that is, comes in with a heck of a punch. Watch him wind up. Hayukin. Knock that thing out. Luckily they didn't lose it, but still. Got to protect the church's money. Got to protect it. Got to. We're going to run 2 more. And again, we talked about burst. We talked about vision. We talked about patience. Talked about home run hitting. Let's see some of them home runs. Look at that. Look at that. He's not even touched. 33 seems to have a bead on him. This guy, he's not even touched. Hit the coal. Now, you think he's going to explode outside? 20's going to fight to get over top of this? 20's going to fight to get over top of this? Wrong thing. Yeah, 20 going to fight to get over top of this. But what he going to do, he's going to see that happening, stick that foot in the ground, and go right there. Still going to be untouched. Bam. Now, 4-3 kick in. 4-3 ignite. 4-3 ignite. Home run. Now, why he didn't get the pom-poms? She ain't getting the pom-poms. I was watching them like, get a man the pom-poms. Let him celebrate. Last one. Again, home run ability. Home run hitting ability on any play. Any team would love to have that. Love to have that. Simple outside zone. Blocked perfectly. And at this point, strike up the band. Strike up the band. It's a wrap. You're not catching the guy that fast. He get a head of steam going before he gets to the line of scrimmage and nobody's there to touch him. Strike up the band. So, after seeing that, if you didn't know who this young fella is, you know now. Bhayshul Tuten, running back from Virginia Tech, ran a 4.3 at the combine, showed you explosiveness, showed you vision, showed you the ability to have contact balance and make people miss. The negative part, the ball was on the ground a couple of times. So, like I said, it ain't all peaches and cream. Everybody got something to work on, and his is holding on to the rock, which is detrimental in the NFL. You know, you go to some teams and you drop it one time and you will never be seen again. But other than that, he's a guy that I like. You can get late in the draft. Especially if you're an outside zone team, he'll give you a pleasant number 2 back, especially if you already got a guy that can do all the pounding and he can hit your outside stuff. So this is Bhayshul Tuten, running back from Virginia Tech. Had over 1,100 yards this year with Virginia Tech. First 2 years at North Carolina A&T. Last 2 years at Virginia Tech. 4.340. This is Coach Evans with another episode of More Sip the Tally. I appreciate you guys for coming out. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with me. If you liked the video, tap that like button. If you've not subscribed, please consider doing so. Hit that bell so you can be notified when the rest of this 2025 draft content hits, and share it on your socials. And on that note, I'm out. Peace.